Okay, so we'll do this the same way that we bored for those, if you were with me when I did that, and that is that I've got this 1/2 inch auger bit, and I cut the tapered tang off of it and ground it to where it fit just in one of these cheap Stanley extensions here that you get at the hardware store. And then because the Spofford had trouble grabbing that hexagonal that was up here, I ground it down to a square so it can fit in that Spofford. So I can thread it right up through there, like that, and lock this down on it. And it's this particular bit is 18 turns to get to the 1 1/8 depth that I want. Sitting that leg on me, I'll have to do this one and come back to that one. It's catching the leg and it's not letting it come up. I'll have to take off the arm rail to do that one. There's the last one. Now I'll take the arm rail off and put the long spindles in there and see how everything fits. So, I'm ready to put the spindles in. So as I said earlier, some of these spindles have a crook to them, and I put the crookedest ones on the outside, and I'm going to turn those crooks to where they go back and out a little bit. So let's see what that one's doing right there. It'll work. And I can just, I can turn it around right like that. Good. Take number 4 here. And this really saves all my elbows here. I think that's one of the things that tore them up so bad, was years of twisting those spindles down into these holes. This would have been a much smarter way to have done it from the beginning. Okay, starting to look like a chair. Well, I'll set it down and see if that arm rail will go on it. Okay, so let's see here, see if I can thread this thing on. You don't want to get it upside down when you're doing this. I did that one time. You're pounding it down and you're wondering why it's not going. It's upside down. Hey, back on. usually if it's hanging up with you when you're doing that, I find it usually needs to go down in the back. You're putting too much pressure on the front. Just tap that back down some and it should just slide right down. So let's see what we got here. Let's take down this other side here. Don't get things too out of whack. Okay, let's see where we are with the lines. A little bit more. So coming right down on those tapers and stopping. That's what we want. Nice way to do it. You can tell by the sound that I'm bottoming out on top of that. It is just hitting them all the way across. Now, I bore these holes for the spindles 1 1/8 deep, but I only set the spindles in there 1 inch, and I've got an 1/8 inch as a safety valve, because when I'm measuring and marking up here, I'm not exact there, I'm pretty close, but it's kind of a safety valve, so if it hangs up on any one of these, it can push it down just a little bit more down into the seat. And I want, a lot of times I don't even pick it up. I don't even know it's happening. So right now we are looking good. I'll turn it towards you so you can see it. So the few things that we have left to do, one of them is to cut this down and round this over and clean all this up now that I've bored the holes. And then the other is take the comb and we're going to clamp it up here and mark for the angles of the spindles and bore that and put it in. And then I have the tail to deal with and the spindles on the tail. And that'd be the final last thing that I do in assembly. I think it's looking pretty good.